5, 4,
Three,
3, 2,
two,
1.
Go!
Well,
Oh.
all right. Well, this one's starting off to a great
No,
start.
I love this. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Hot Mess Success Podcast, even though it's our first time where we talk about all our successes and, more importantly, our real-life hot messes. I'm your host, Lexi Combs. You may also know me as Lexi DIY, and I'm joined by my co-host...
Dustin Combs, also known as Crustin.
Yeah, personally, I like to call him Crustin more. So today is our first episode ever of the Hot Mess Success Podcast. We have really no idea what we're doing.
Zero.
We are going to get better with our setup, with our audio quality, and maybe even pop 2 cameras in here. Who knows? But we are recording for YouTube, so if you guys want to see the video of us recording, head over to YouTube. But, of course, you can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere else where you can listen to your podcast. Whatever floats your goat.
If you are only listening, I just want you guys to just go ahead and imagine the scene right now, because we are in 2 nice chairs from Target, kind of barrels, and we have the most comfy, luxurious blankets from Target. They're literally heaven. They're heaven in a throw blanket.
They are.
And hers is like an emerald green, so like, there you go, scene set.
Boom. His is like a white cream Sherpa. They're Sherpa. Anyway, so you guys probably don't care too much about our blankets, or maybe you do. If you want the link, I can drop it in this ad.
Period.
Anyway.
Come on, influencer.
Ooh. Yeah, let's talk about it. So we want to use the first episode to just kind of introduce you guys to us. You may come here because I'm going to put it on social media, or you may come here because Dustin's going to put it on social media, and you might be our mom.
Our mom?
Our moms.
There we go. All right.
You know what I mean. Anyway.
Barbara Kelly.
Oh my gosh. Hello. Shout out to our moms. Shout out to his family. Can you tell I watched the H3 podcast? Anyway, so, wow, this is just...
ADHD runs very rampant, just so we're clear.
So, we're going to get better at this, but expect it to be chaotic all the time.
Come on.
Yeah. So, just a little bit of background about us. We are a married couple, and we have been married for like 6.5 years.
Since September 2015.
Yeah, I can't do math, so
that's a little bit over 6 years.
Yeah, and we got married at the young age of 20 years old.
20.
Yeah, do you want to tell them a little bit about your occupation and
like
yourself?
Currently?
Yeah, and yourself in general.
Occupation. I'm in the Navy. I do electronics for missiles. It's not really something I enjoy too much, but that is my job. If you're in the Navy, it's Aegis, fire controlman. So, I mean, like I said, electronics for missiles, radars, that kind of system. It's just basically if you hired an electrician to do Navy stuff, that would be me. So.
Yeah. And I am a content creator. I have a YouTube channel and a TikTok. You can definitely hear our dog snoring in the background.
Yeah,
I
just heard
so
that.
sorry. You guys are going to hear a bunch of random noises, and it's just our life. So until we, build out a podcast studio...
Welcome to the Hot Mess.
Yeah, welcome to the Hot Mess. Enjoy Penelope really snoring in the background, because she is snoozing away. But yeah, I am a content creator. That's why I said you might also know me as Lexi DIY, because that's what I go on TikTok and on YouTube, Instagram, everywhere, and that is what I do. So that kind of led us. We've been wanting to start a podcast, and we actually did start one a long time ago. And
was Lexi DIY even a thing when we started that podcast?
It was. I had gotten my first brand deal with 50 Flowers, but I wouldn't say I was an influencer at that time, or like a content creator. I hate that word, influencer.
Yeah.
I'm sick that I just used it.
Working as well, another job. Yeah.
So it was really bad. Please don't go look for it.
Please do. You got to see all the humble beginnings.
It was bad, and we just didn't really we had fun with it, but it wasn't something that we could keep up. Oh, you didn't have fun with it?
No, I didn't know you were talking about the podcast. So they're talking about your beginning days.
Oh, no. I was talking about our first podcast.
Yeah, don't find that.
Yeah, we're going to scrub that from the internet because it wasn't great. But we did have fun making it. We just didn't really know what we were doing. So now that content creation is my job, me and Dustin wanted to do something together. We were thinking about starting a vlog channel, but frankly, we were like, we'd rather just sit down and have a conversation. And so this is what we're doing. We definitely want to know what you guys would love to see from us. So also, just a little background on like what my content is about, because it does play deeply into both me and Dustin's lives, which is actually the reason that we started this podcast slash named it what we did. We are currently renovating a house with absolutely zero experience. We sold our house that our first house that we ever bought. And oh my gosh, you can hear the cars down our road.
Mics.
Yeah, these mics are fire. Anyway, we sold our first house and we bought a fixer-upper. Now, it was a huge shit show to get into this house, and maybe we'll do an episode on all the trials and tribulations in the 3 months it took us to close on this house, because that's just a story for another day.
I definitely think we should, actually, because I feel like that'd be good for people that don't know yet and they don't want to go into the YouTube. If they only want, like, if you're only on the podcast, then you can check it out there. I think that'd be smart. I like that.
For sure. We definitely have to do an episode dedicated to that. But basically, the way that I started like really blowing up on TikTok first and then on YouTube was I have a series called Hot Mess House Renovation, and it's literally just me and Dustin taking on a renovation that we have no idea what we're doing, but we're figuring it out. So that's really fun. And of course, we could talk about, our different projects and just so many different facets of it. But what's really interesting is how fast it became such a success, and how many people were really invested in it and in us too, which we just think is like the sweetest thing ever. We absolutely love every single person that like follows our journey and supports us. But we don't really get to go behind the scenes of it too much, because it does take a lot of time to make a YouTube video or, multiple TikToks and do all the projects. So this is a place where we can really answer questions and talk about our journey and maybe help inspire you guys. We'd love to take questions too. I'll leave our email address where you can email us your questions to be featured on our podcast. So, yeah.
I just want to go ahead and throw this out there. You're such a natural at this. Like, for those of you that are seeing the video, like, she literally just flowed straight into all of that. And this is not planned at all. We literally have
no plan.
Nothing. So, that was your...
I think it's all those ad reads for TikTok and YouTube. By the way, sponsors, I can guarantee you this podcast is going to be extremely successful. I'm just putting that out into the universe now. So if you'd like to sponsor this podcast, go ahead and send us a email. At the email, it'll be linked in the description. So looking forward to that. But yeah, how do you feel? Because I feel like people are going to get a little bit closer look at your life specifically. Of course, it's our life, and I show our life on my TikTok and my YouTube, but they don't necessarily get to see like all the facets and like more personally into your specific everyday life. So how do you think that, having this podcast is going to be like? Are you nervous about people getting to know you a little more? Are you excited?
So I mean, I wouldn't say I'm nervous about them seeing anything about my life. I just don't know how many people will actually be interested or take like a personal investment into it.
Really? I'm interested.
Well, yeah, but like, you have to. You're my wife.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have married you if
I suppose that's fair.
if you weren't interesting.
I don't know. I don't really feel like it's not like I don't, this is kind of hard to describe. I don't hide anything. Mm-hmm. In terms of like on your social media. It's just that it doesn't go into my life because it's your profile. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and also, it's more of just like about the house. So even though we do like share parts of our life, I feel like they get to interact directly with me more. So that's why they just don't know as much about you.
Yeah. Well, I feel like they'll also learn even more about you through this as well. Just because like, with the TikToks and everything, like it's focused on like, here is what I'm doing. Watch me renovate this. Okay, I'm done renovating it. And then most times you're just gonna get questions and such about what you were doing.
Yeah.
Like when you go on live and such, you obviously have like a conversation with some of them, but like also, first of all, we've seen where it just gets too hectic to where you can't even keep up with every single person because there's
So
numerous in
many,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be a better chance for the both of us, for everyone else to like see
Yeah.
what it is.
Just to like build a deeper connection with everybody and maybe find some new people that, don't even watch my content or any of the content that you put out and just fall in love with the podcast.
Yeah, because I mean, not everyone's on TikTok.
That's true. Or YouTube,
Yep,
even.
facts.
So, another thing that we'll definitely be like diving into and looking at is basically what led up to our successes and our failures, and basically trying to kind of not give a roadmap to people, but I guess it's interesting when you think of it because so many things in your life, and this could really go for anything, for me, it's social media, but they happen so quickly, and sometimes we don't realize what the key points are in our successes or in our failures, which we love to fail in this house. We do it a lot, and we'll talk more about that too. But so it's interesting to look back and realize, this is what I actually think that turning point was for me and, what made us successful in this situation. So I think that's really interesting for us to talk about just on any of the episodes because we really want to know. I think for ourselves, we want to know. And if you're trying to do something similar, and we'll also talk about our relationship and, just different things, it can be helpful to other people who are like going through the same situation or looking to do the same thing as us. So I think that'll be really cool.
I don't know if you're interested in this, but I do have a discussion point potentially based on something you just said.
Okay, well, of course.
Well, but I mean, I
It's a
don't know how you want
podcast.
to guide the episode or whatever.
Give
But
it to me.
you had
Shade.
said that we love to fail in this house. And I would argue that we don't love to fail, but we accept the failures. Just because,
Yeah.
like, failing is still frustrating. It's still something that, like, we don't want. Like, obviously, we want to succeed, like, at everything we do. But we also know that failure is a part of that. I wouldn't say we love it. I would say we accept it. Well, at least that's how I think I view it. At least at this moment, and maybe that's like a difference in us. Maybe that
Yeah.
like maybe that's why you out here
I
cleaning it up.
I don't necessarily. Okay, I guess I did like kind of phrase that improperly.
Well, no, I was just interested
I
to
love
see
to
how
fail in hindsight.
because you like to like look back at it, review the process, and learn from it.
Yeah, I feel like I learn so much more from failure than I learn from success. And that might be cliche, if you watch Gary Vee, he always kind of talks about that, but it's really true because when I think about how much failure it took me and it took us with, this house and just multiple things in our life that took so much failure that once we got to the other side of it, it was so much more rewarding. And without those failures are just like stepping stones. Like we're just, I failed here, and you might think that, oh, that took a step backwards. But in my brain, that's just not how it goes. I still, of course, get like frustrated, but I don't think that it's just unrealistic to think that you can succeed more than you can fail. And I know that that sounds like kind of a weird thing because you're like, oh, Lexi, like, you're out here like doing all these things. But behind the scenes, I'm failing a lot.
And that's what this is all about.
Yeah. So in your, let's just talk about since we introduced them to the hot mess house and everything with that. I think that's where we'll kind of go with the first episode, and we'll see how this turns out. But what do you think makes the hot mess house so interesting? What do you think made people follow along?
All right. So if I had to guess, I would honestly say it's probably how genuine you are.
Oh.
Well, but like for real, because like most of the people who don't know what they're doing are like they're just gonna like cover it up and they either want it to be like spot on or they don't want to say like I don't know what I'm doing. Like admitting to not knowing is something that I feel like isn't done very frequently because like I don't know how to word it. It's kind of like you see professionals doing it.
Yeah.
you don't frequently see people who are not professionals doing it because they're worried about all the judgment and the scrutinization that they're going to receive.
Yeah.
We had no clue what we were going on, but we still tried it. And you, for example, had posted it all over social media for people to see, people to scrutinize, people to judge, people.
And they did.
I was saying, and we have received that.
Yeah.
But I feel that like that's the thing, is that I don't think many people are willing to receive those harsh comments, receive the judgment, receive the criticism. If they don't know what it's about, then like they're not, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people are just enjoying that because you will literally say, "Hey, I don't know what I'm doing, but here I go." And then also you're also breaking it down to where like you don't have to know what you're doing, but you can learn. And you're also
true.
like taking it even a step further. It's like you're literally telling them how you learned.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, professionals like, "Yep, just shot this glue gun up, and then we put
Shot the glue gun up."
If y'all don't know, she literally does all the renovations. So like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of just here.
That's also a misconception. That
Yeah.
People are always think that Dustin does like most of the work, and I just like put the clips in where I'm doing it, and it's like, nah, shoddy.
Yeah,
He
half the
does.
time I'm
He
literally
barely
gone,
knows
so.
how to use power tools.
Facts. My first power tool I used was like just a few years ago. So.
A drill.
Yep. And I still call it a screwdriver.
Yeah, he does. It's like the electric screwdriver. I'm like, honey, that's an impact drill, but
here we go.
it's fine.
I think people care because you care and you're willing to not only help but also take criticism.
Yeah. And I think that's a really important lesson for not even just if you're looking to get into social media. I know that we're talking a lot about that, but I promise not every episode will be about that. It's just something that's easy for us to talk about before we know what you guys want us to talk about. I think it's important, no matter what you're doing, no matter what industry, that you put yourself out there fully and authentically, and that is how you become successful. Because if you don't love what you do, and if you're not being fully authentic, then people will see right through you.
Oh yeah, it's transparent.
Yeah. And as a content creator, it's so funny because I will look, and Dustin will also look at other people's content that come up on our For You page, or even people that we used to love watching on YouTube, right? And we'll be like, is this genuine? And some people, of course, that we come by or that we, have followed for years, and we're like, we love them. We can tell that they're being so authentic, and we, really, it's just appreciated more. So that can be taken into just every single aspect. It doesn't have to be social media. Of course, if, building a social media following and becoming a content creator full-time is something that you're interested in, I could go into heavy detail about it. And I'm sure at some point I will, but yeah. What do you think is the most, how should I word this? If you could pick 3 key points in the success of the Hot Mess House renovation series where you feel like they were turning points or, whatever, and I'll answer this too, so it's going to be interesting to see if we have different answers. But you could pick, between 1 and 3 points that have really, you think launched the success, or even behind the scenes that people didn't see. What do you think that those are?
So I have 2 that immediately come to mind.
Okay.
And they're actually both for different reasons.
Okay.
The laundry room, that floor.
Iconic.
Yes, exactly. But see, that's the thing.
I'll link it here.
Exactly. That, social media-wise, took off.
Yeah.
Took off. And don't get me wrong, obviously, it's a sick transformation. So I completely understand why it took off.
He's talking 12 million views on TikTok.
Period. But
and another 3 million, I think, on YouTube Shorts.
Yeah. So that, I feel, hit the ground running. You went, isn't that whenever you went from 400 to over 1 million followers?
So I went
or was it
from
600?
Yeah, I went from 600,000 followers, 630, I think, to literally 1 million in less than a week.
Yeah.
From that one video
crazy.
alone.
So I think that is one of the more successful, pivotal points, but I think that only for the terms of social media. Now, second point that comes to mind would be the tiling for the master bath, because we had like everything that we've done. Obviously, we didn't know what we were doing. Like we
Yeah.
learned as we went, but that was the thing that took us the longest to learn and get correct.
And it
And
was so frustrating.
and I just feel like on a personal level, that was something successful for us to finish. Obviously, there's still some things here and there we gotta
Oh, they don't. This is real behind the scenes tea.
real
So,
behind the
fun
scenes.
fact: if you're about to get an exclusive, if you watch my YouTube or my TikTok, you'll know that we did this master bathroom renovation a long time ago. There are things that are not done in that bathroom,
100%.
and we will do them. They're just not done.
Yeah.
But we need an electrician because something is wrong with the light. Like, and I actually think it's wrong with the switch.
I think it's up.
Oh,
Because-
we'll figure that out later. But yeah, so something's wrong with the light and it won't turn on. Fun fact, that's why you never see a video in there at night. And our shower head spews everywhere, so we actually need to get a new one.
But that's literally just the shower head itself. Like
Yeah.
the plumbing and the water.
Yeah,
and
the
all
plumbing
that's
and everything's fine. It's just like little things. And so we actually have not taken a shower in that master shower yet, which we worked so freaking hard on it. And it's something that we're going to be doing the finishing details on like very shortly, but nobody knows that.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
But so yes, I would say that that was a big personal success because that was easily the most frustrating project. So learning how to do that and getting it done, I felt was a big like we can finally breathe again kind of moment.
Yes.
So I feel like as like I don't want to say as renovators because like first of all I definitely won't claim to be a renovator, but I don't know if you want to claim that necessarily. So like
I don't think so.
yeah, but I mean that makes sense.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's not necessarily your job.
DIY renovator, baby.
Right. So, in that aspect, I feel like that's where both of us grew tremendously because we learned it, took us 80 million tries,
Yeah.
but it got done.
That's very true. And it was very rewarding to step back and look at that. It also grew our relationship because
Oh, we have never worked like that together. I would
yeah,
say.
it was difficult. Like, if you want to test your relationship or your marriage, take on a full renovation. If you are in an unstable place, do not, I repeat, do not take on a renovation of any magnitude. Also, you can definitely still hear Penelope,
Yep.
and
She
it's just
is
getting
just-
louder.
She's.
She must be getting deeper into her slumber. It's fine.
If you guys don't know who Penelope is, oh my god! So
We have
there's
3
so many
dogs.
different things we could talk about.
Yeah.
But if you don't know who Penelope is, your first viral video was Penelope.
It was. So we have a special needs dog. She has IVDD. She's a pit bull. And so her back legs work a little funky. She walks a little wobbly, maybe like she's a little inebriated. And my first viral video ever on TikTok was actually of her at water therapy.
Yeah. So fun fact there.
Yeah.
If
And we
you
have
didn't
2
know.
other dogs.
Yep. I feel like we'll bring them up bring all of the dogs up in another podcast.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up real quick because we were talking about social media anyways. So it
That's
just
true.
makes sense.
It did. It did. I think for me.
I do have a third point.
Oh, okay. I thought you only said you had 2.
I
Go
did
ahead.
only have 2. But well, because I
But
had
you
to
were
think
thinking
of
it.
it.
Yeah, it was rolling.
So I think another thing would honestly be this room right here.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know. I want to hear your opinion on it as well. But something about this room just.
Oh. Don't worry, we're gonna fix that, folks.
I think this room right here just like. I don't even know what to say about it. But this
It
living
felt like
room-
another level.
Yes. It like, oh my god, no! Because now I also want to bring up the patio because that back patio that one was. All right, I can't pick.
You got multiple points.
Yeah, you got me. So I think I wouldn't necessarily the back patio or this room were necessarily like a key point, like pivotal moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think these are 2 of my favorites. I don't think it necessarily was a turning point or a big. It was successful, obviously.
Yeah. But
But-
you feel like personally for me, as like maybe a designer.
Yeah, this right here is literally a magazine.
Yeah. By the way, we're
live
sitting
in
in our
fantasy.
living room. Fun fact.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's really interesting. I think we're actually gonna pause and take a little break where eventually our ads will be inserted while we go ahead and pop a new battery into the camera because it's gonna die. Okay, and we're back. So we left off talking about what we thought the turning points or the success markers were for the Hot Mess House series as just like a whole. And Dustin had some really interesting points. And although those do make sense to me in such like a broad way, I see these much smaller little points that I feel like were just turning points to, I mean, maybe even not just the Hot Mess House series, but my career in general. But one I think actually happened before we even started the series. And that is the first time that we walked through this house, because I remember it being so distinctly scary and different. I can not ever forget the look on Dustin's face because this house was in such bad shape. And he looks at me just terrified. And I was like, is this too much? And he was like, no.
No,
He,
figure it out.
yeah, well, we can do it. And I was like, you think this is too much? And I could tell that he did, but I was like, it's fine.
We'll see, but also another thing on that is, one thing with us is I'm gonna support no matter what she wants to do. So even though yes, I absolutely thought it was too much, it wasn't. Like even like
He knew it wasn't too, it was too overwhelming to think about, but he knew it wasn't too much.
yeah, like even before seeing all this, like yeah, I still would have been like, no, it's fine, because I know one, I support her no matter what, and two, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So I think knowing how much work it was and being able to like latch on to that moment where I saw you just be completely terrified to the first episode, which we dropped before we closed on the house, by the way.
Gangsta.
And the first episode literally changed our lives because it has like 3 million views now.
Oh, Rick the Brick.
Yeah, we pulled a brick out of the toilet. We named him Rick. I think that honestly we need to like set up a little table for Rick in the middle. So next podcast we'll have Rick the Brick because he is our mascot and he is iconic.
Always.
And we pulled him out of a toilet and we just had fun with it.
Yeah.
And so that is one, like I know that that's like a long span of time, but when I think back to like the most pivotal point, it was just deciding to buy the house, just deciding to do it, walking into something that we had no idea if we could do, but we did it anyway. That is one of the scariest and best decisions you'll ever make, because even if you fail, you learn so much. And I know that's easy to say in hindsight. Oliver. Well, there goes our other dog. I think just going from just making that decision to, do it, to like jump off the deep end and just have the confidence in yourself, even though you really don't. But putting that pretend confidence on to follow your dreams was just like such an impactful moment for, I think, even us as a couple too, because we very much balance each other out. And going beyond that, I have other points, but going beyond that, it really strengthened our relationship because I was so excited about it, and Dustin, you could tell he was nervous. And then once it came time where we actually got to take early possession of the house, that's a whole nother thing. The first day that we walked in here, Dustin was so excited, and I remember being like, what did we do?
I was like, let's do this and this and this and this, and like he was like, slow down, hold on, there's a lot.
Yeah, and I was like so overwhelmed. So it's really funny because we balance each other out in that way of like, I do have the big dreams and like I try to see so far into the future, but sometimes that kind of blinds my perception of situations, or I don't think about the details really until I get into it, which is normally fine, and Dustin is a detail guy. So I think after everything we went through, I was already so exhausted and overwhelmed with like the big picture that I stepped into the details and I was scared. So that was like a really pivotal.
Pivotal.
That was a really pivotal. I can't say that. It's fine. It was a really life changing moment for me.
One thing I also just thought about in regards to us getting this house was it was kind of sort of like our backs were against the wall.
Yeah.
And it was like either we take it on, not knowing what's going to happen, or we literally. It wasn't just as simple as either you do or don't because we had tried others.
Yeah. We had put offers on like 10 houses. That's a whole. How we ended up in this house, in the hot mess house specifically, is definitely a full episode kind of story, but yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of cool to see, like, back against the wall, are you willing to face what terrifies you, as in me, or are you going to falter and find another way out?
Right.
And then it ended up scaring you, which was dope to see because I was like, okay, cool. At least I know I'm not
Crazy.
the baby.
Yeah. It was a wide range of emotions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I think that just that first video, I mean, the time between that and the first video was really kind of insane. Obviously, there are things like that. Part 32. I'll never forget. Yeah, it's the laundry room. And that video has 12 million views on TikTok. And I just remember it happening so quickly. I think that when I hit that video, yes, I got like a lot of success on TikTok and I was able to get more brand deals and like, you know, have different opportunities and really take on content creation full time. But for me, that was the point in the series where I just felt like confident in what we were doing. You know, I was getting a lot of hate for for that video. But I was also getting a lot of people that wanted to renovate their house by themselves and affordably. They didn't
know what they were doing.
Yeah, and they
just
didn't
like us.
know what they were doing. And they were appreciative that I was sharing, you know, what I was doing with them and also where I was failing, which I thought was just so cool. And it was like we were all learning from each other. And I think that's just when I really felt like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And this series has made an impact on people.
Absolutely. There's definitely a lot of people who were literally like, well, I mean, to this day, we still get numerous, I keep on saying we, but it's your channel.
But it is us, though.
Numerous comments saying, you have inspired me to do this. I have no clue what I'm doing. I've learned on YouTube just like you. I've watched all your videos. Like, you're the reason I feel confident enough to be able to try and tackle this head on.
Yeah. And it's just cool to see that. And it's cool to, like, whenever I get tagged in a video of somebody, like, recreating a project that we did, it's like I cry. Like, oftentimes I cry because I'm just, like, so proud. I'm so proud of you guys.
Yeah.
And I'm...
She like, just so you know, like, that's 100% genuine. She literally, like, I'll walk in and she'll just be like, someone said something so nice. And I'm like, well, why are you crying?
Because I love them and appreciate them.
Yeah, the love and support is real, and it definitely... seeing, like, in that also, I feel like, is something that I feel is undermined it. Mm-hmm. When it comes to, like, content creators, I feel like not enough people actually show support. In the sense of, like, they don't realize how monumental it can be. Because of how people are so rude to you, then, like, on the back end, you got people that are nice. People that are nice, like, that also matters. That really does something.
You know, that's something so interesting, too, is, like, we've had a lot of, we've grown a lot in the past year. Sorry, I gotta move my foot. We've grown a lot in the past year mentally, both of us, because... the amount of rude comments, especially on YouTube Shorts. Like, on YouTube Shorts, people be wrecking me. And, you know, recently there was a time where I still don't look at the comments. I couldn't look at I had to stop looking at the comments on my YouTube Shorts. And it's really sad because most of the time it's really nice people. But I got onto the wrong side of YouTube Shorts shelf. And people were so ruthless, things that I cannot even repeat here because YouTube would probably take this video down. And I was in a bad mental place. And Dustin really had to like dig me out of that. And, you know, he's also simultaneously going through it because it's still our house. So, like, when people comment on like our renovation videos and we're like, everything's so ugly, you suck, you're doing it all wrong, we're like, we take it super personally because it's literally a labor of love. Like, we've spent so much time, money, blood, sweat, tears put into it that when somebody tells you like, you suck, it looks horrible, you're like, are they right? And then we have to snap out of it and be like, psh, no, they're not. But yeah, that's another like just interesting little facet. We're really going all over the place, but you know, I think that it's hard for us to we're just really passionate about like all the different things. And it is the Hot Mess Success podcast. So we really want to talk about, you know, first up the series and what's going on with our house because, you know, we feel like we have a lot to talk about on that and it's easy for us to discuss it. But we would like to discuss many other things. So definitely drop us a comment and let us know what kind of episodes that you guys want, who you want us to bring on as guests, and stuff like that.
Yeah. One thing you had mentioned was you said you put all the time into it. Another thing that numerous people don't realize on social media is the time in creating the content itself. Because, like, obviously you're spending, like, numerous amount of hours working on the renovation.
Yes.
But you're also setting up cameras, changing batteries, getting correct lighting, editing, getting the song, getting the font. Like,
yeah.
It's...
That's a whole nother episode. Like, I feel like we could do a whole episode on what it takes to make renovation content, how, like, literally time it, how many hours go into the actual project, well, just setup in general, the actual project, editing, and then uploading, and then replying to the comments because I like to do that.
Comments, that's another reason why it actually hits so hard because it's not just them being like, oh, it's ugly. Mm-hmm. Them saying, oh, it's ugly is like it's like a direct reflection of how they feel about the whole creation itself.
Yeah.
So that just kind of like just tackles it all down and makes it kind of feel invalidated.
Yeah.
For lack of better words, but like that's just not the case.
That's very true. And that's like, that took a long time to realize. And I'm not going to say that like those mean comments don't still get to me because I still haven't, like, I'll reply to a few comments on YouTube Shorts here and there, but they were like so brutal for a while that I just stopped. And I really like to reply to comments because I feel like if you guys take the time out of your day to like leave us a comment, I really appreciate it and I want to reply back. So, you know, I really try to do that, but when they get really brutal in a place, I have to stop. So usually on TikTok and on my normal YouTube channel and on this channel, I will reply to like as many comments as I can because I just appreciate it. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll also be replying, including to the rude people. Just be warned.
He's a saucy man.
Yeah, I typically try to filter what I say on her channels because like it's
Brand
not
friendly.
a representation of me; it's a representation of her.
Yeah.
So me saying like, "Hey, dude, like you need to," bad word, like that's not her.
Bad
saying
word,
that. That's
bad
me
word.
saying that.
Yeah.
So I gotta keep in mind that I can't say that. Although like I want to like defend her, not that she needs it, but
yeah,
it's my wife. I love her. So like,
oh my,
obviously,
yeah, I love you too. Yeah, it's interesting. It's been a real process, and we'd really love to share every part of it with you. I know. Again, this was really all over the place.
We do plan on coming with outlines. That way we have a guided discussion instead of just
winging it. Yeah, but we didn't really know where to start. So if there's things that we can improve on, definitely let us know nicely if you could.
If it's not nice, I'll reply to you.
And you'll reply to the people that are nice too.
Yeah, of course.
Because we're nice, but
well, yeah, but I mean,
he'll be saucy to you.
Oh, for sure.
If you're not nice. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know how long we've been going.
I have no clue.
I don't know how long this podcast is. Do you have any other things that you feel like we should hit before we go?
Um,
Because, I mean, I'm cool to keep going.
so I don't know. I don't know how long we've been recording,
Yeah.
but also there's just so many different things we could talk about, and I feel like there's so many things that we could talk about for a long time on that
Yeah.
note, and it's just a matter of collecting all those ideas and putting them into like, this is one episode, this is another episode, this is one topic, this is another topic, you know?
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I don't know. I kind of feel like this might be okay for the start.
Yeah.
And get people to let us know what they want to see, and then also you and I obviously just tackle a little more on what we're going to bring next and go
Yeah.
from there.
We're not quite sure what our upload schedule is going to be. We're definitely going to get one of these up a week. We haven't quite landed on a day yet.
Also to keep in mind the fact that like,
We are doing this right before Christmas, and
well, also, but in general, we both have jobs and life, so like things happen sometimes.
yeah. But I think it's easier for us to sit down and do a podcast and then upload it because it's not as much editing and stuff. So we should be able to get them out, once a week. Give us a little bit of grace while we're starting out. But at the end of every podcast episode, Dustin had the really great idea for both of us to talk about one thing in that day that we thought was successful. And I actually want to add to that, if you're cool with it.
Absolutely, let me hear it.
I want to add in one thing, not necessarily that we failed at. I think we should do this before we say the successful thing. But one thing that we did that day that, we just want to improve ourselves on. And I think it's really important, and we want to ask you guys too. So keep that in mind while we're talking about and answering the question. We want you guys to be thinking about, the same thing for yourself, and maybe drop us a comment and let us know your answer. So do you want to go first? We can both do each thing, or how do you want to do it? Him
On the
slash.
spotlight.
Okay.
Okay, so, well, first of all, I feel like my answers right now probably be kind of surface level because I completely didn't even think about thinking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's
So
okay.
let me go ahead and apologize for that. I think not failure, but one thing that I need to work on is, and this is, like I said, surface level, like I'm not even looking too deep into it, is my, like, recovery and how I go into working out. Because
Yeah.
I was wrecked going in, I'm even more wrecked coming out, and I should try to take better care of my body. However, one success, can I do 2 today?
Yeah, you can do it. It's whatever you want. It's our podcast. Also, for those of you guys who don't know, Dustin has been training really hard in CrossFit. So when he's talking about working out, that's what he's talking about. And we'll definitely talk about CrossFit. We'll probably do a whole episode on it, but just so that you guys have like the understanding of that.
Success-wise, one, to follow on to what I just said, is that I still went to the gym because I really considered not, because I am toasted. I'm telling you, like, my traps, bro,
You look pretty buff.
stop it. But another success, not surface level, and that I feel is really important, is we did this.
Yeah, we did.
Like, we did this. We don't know what we're doing. We're winging it, and we're doing it. And I think, like, I've enjoyed this. I think this is fun.
Even if nobody listens,
honestly.
and we get to listen back to
I was like,
it.
I'll listen to it myself.
Yeah, but even in like a year, it's cool because we'll get to listen back to this. And we've been, we did start a podcast before. Don't look for it. I'm gonna scrub it from the internet. But we've been really wanting to do this for a long time. And the biggest thing that held us up was literally we could not think of a name. And then I just had podcast on the brain because I was on one of my friends, Abby, Jean, and Nate. They have a podcast, The Influence. Go definitely check it out if you haven't. But they, do a bunch of like interviews with content creators, and they're amazing. And I had so much fun on it. And so I had podcasting on the brain. So shout out to them because they re-sparked my real, like, true deep dive interest in this. But it just came to me one day, and I said it to Dustin, and his eyes lit up, and I was like, this is it. It's the hot mess success.
And that's so sick, because how relevant. How
It
freaking
is.
relevant.
It was the right timing.
Yeah. So, what is one thing you need to prevent, and what is one success? And obviously, you have more, feel free, because, I already broke the rule. Yikes.
I think that one thing I need to. Oh, you're so cute. You guys, if you're not watching on YouTube, he just put his little pinky finger on my hand. Sorry, I had to burp.
My love language is physical affection.
Yeah. And I am not a physical affection queen, but we're doing great. One thing that I really need to work on is being more patient. I I have not been patient today. Setting this up was not the easiest task, and we learned. And that's why I said, you know what, failing is great, because we failed a lot of times trying to set this up today. But I do definitely need to be more patient. That's something I need to work on. And I think one thing that I am just really proud of, again, it's like the same thing, is that we actually did this. We're doing it. We're putting ourselves out there. I'm going to be interested to see what the response is.
For sure.
Because I don't really, we don't have any expectations for this. I think, we hope that it goes well and that people like it and that it's successful. But if only our moms watch, that's okay.
Shout out to Barb and Kelly.
Yeah. So yeah, but for you guys, please let us know in the comments below, what is one thing that you feel like you could easily improve on. And it can be something that, don't make it too deep, honestly. If you can't change it in 5 minutes or be more mindful about it in 5 minutes, maybe don't say that. Don't think too deeply. I really want you guys to set a realistic goal for yourself. So I think I'm not gonna overall be more patient all the time, but just trying to be more mindful and thinking about that. And same thing with you. It's gonna be a road to making sure that you're recovering better and stuff. But it's something that if you're consciously thinking about it, you can make small improvements towards. So don't be too hard on yourself when you're going with that one. I want to put that disclaimer out there, because I don't want anybody to feel like you even have to answer that. But if you just want to answer what was one thing that you were successful at today or that you were really proud of today, we would love to hear it. We love happy things. It could be the smallest thing. It could be that you got out of bed this morning. It's
that is succeeding.
It is succeeding. And so it could be something really small, something really big. Please let us know, because we'd love to hear.
Absolutely.
And I think that's it for the first episode of the Hot Mess Success podcast. We really appreciate you guys. If you made it all the way to the end of this, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can actually watch us film the podcast, or record the podcast rather. And if you prefer to listen on, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any other place that you like to listen to your podcast, you can check us out there too. We really appreciate it. Please leave us a review.
5-star, baby.
5-star review, baby. And let us know what episodes you guys want to see next, because we'll definitely shout your comment out. And let the whole Hot Mess Success family know that it was your comment that inspired the episode.
Period.
So, we love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Bye.